welcome back to another episode of Love and Gratitude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's summertime and I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And look at my skin. It's so beautiful, so smooth and darker. And I love my skin tone. You know, I'm not really getting dark brown, but I'm getting like caramel brown. And I absolutely love it because it's so special and because I am special. Okay, anyways, how are you? How do you feel? I hope you feel great and I hope that you're enjoying summer as much as I do, because you know what? Many people, they don't really like the hot and the humid weather, but I love because, you know, it's so healthy for my skin and, you know, I'm glowing. Just look at me. But that's not the only reason why I'm glowing. Another reason is because, you know, I am in that phase where where my hormones are in control, I would say, because, you know, it's so exhausting to be a woman sometimes because we have these 4 phases, and because of that cycle, you know, and sometimes my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, they're so crazy, and my hormones, and you know, I'm getting pimples and my body is not really working the way I want, or my head, you know, oh, it's really exhausting. And yeah, sometimes I'm like so done with it, but then on the other hand, I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to be a woman because look how pretty I am. Okay, I hope you love yourself too, because that's the most important thing, remember. Okay, anyways, if you're new here, by the way, I'm Rookie. Welcome to my podcast. It's all about love and gratitude and about self-development and about higher consciousness and becoming the best version of yourself and working on yourself and loving yourself. And you know, because you're the main character and you can do everything, and the only key is to believe in yourself. And that's you know, okay, there are so many important things, but that's one of the most important things in my opinion. And you may agree, you may disagree, I don't know. Let me know and leave a like and subscribe my channel. But let's start now. You know, okay, first of all, I need to tell you a story. So yesterday was Friday, and you know, I was invited to this summer party in a gallery where they have like art and DJ and like house music, whatever. And I know the woman who works there. I know her because a few weeks ago I went there, and because I saw Porsche inspired art, and I love Porsche and I love Porsche inspired art, so I was like, wow, that's so eye-catching. And I went inside and there was a super kind woman. I love her, and she's my friend now. And she invited me to this party, and it was yesterday and a few weeks ago. Okay, no, maybe 1 week ago. And my co-worker and we wanted to go there because my co-worker is interested in art. And he was like interested in working there someday maybe. But then he said, oh, I can't come because I'm sick. And then I was like, okay, because, you know, then I wanted to look for someone else to come with me because I had an invitation for 2 people, so I could bring one more person. But, you know, no one had time, so no one was really able to go with me. And I asked everyone, okay, everyone, even my neighbor, and he was like, oh no, I'm already invited to another party, and so he couldn't come. And then, you know what, I just decided to go there alone on my own because, but also I was super nervous, like really, I was super nervous. And usually I go everywhere alone, on my own. I can do everything alone. And I go to restaurants alone. I go to cafes alone. I am not scared of being alone. And especially, I love myself and I love enjoying my own company. Enjoying myself, enjoy with myself. I love myself and I love my own company because, you know, I can just be with me, with myself and with me, yeah. I can be independent and, you know, just... yeah, like I have no one else to annoy me. I love my friends and I love everyone, of course, but you know, sometimes it's so nice to be alone and to just enjoy your own company, and which is very important too, because you have to spend time with yourself also, and even more than with others, because you have to know yourself first and you have to, you know, love yourself first. And so anyways, unfortunately, many young people, they are not really they don't have the courage to go somewhere alone on their own, especially to go to a restaurant or to a cafe or just to a party, you know? So, and yesterday it was my first time going to a party alone on my own, and I was really nervous, okay? Not insecure, but nervous, because I didn't know what's gonna be there, what's gonna happen, what was waiting for me. So at the end of the day, I went there alone because I was like, oh, okay, nobody has time, so I will just go alone. And even though I was very nervous, it was a good decision to go there. And even though in the back of my head, my ego was telling me, Rookie, don't go there. Oh, you can't go there alone. What if other people will think something bad about you? Duh. But then I was like, no, I'm not gonna let my ego put me down. And then I put on my best dress, my beautiful dress, and I put my makeup on, and my hair was done. And, you know, I was looking super pretty, and I was the prettiest girl there. And then I met so many cool people, and at the end of the evening, when I came back home in the night, I was so happy and I was so grateful that I went there, because you know what? I met new people, I made new friends, and there was this one artist, and he was so cool. And you know, later after the event, after the party, we went to the jazz bar, to a jazz club, and it was even cooler because then I met my co-workers from my other job, and it was so crazy. And you know, that woman, she came to me, she was like, hey, do I know you? And I knew her because we met each other once at work because of an event. And you know, and then I met her, and then I met another guy, I knew him. And at the end, it was so funny, because I was looking for someone to go there with me, but then I didn't need anyone. You know, at the end, I didn't need anyone because I already met others, and I already met people I already knew, which is crazy. And you know what I want to say is that when you do something alone, or when you go somewhere alone, you are never gonna be alone. You will never end up being alone there, because, you know, especially when you're an extrovert or when you're like socializing. There was this one woman, she was an artist too, and she just came to our group because I was already talking to some people. She just came and she was like, hi, you know, she just introduced herself, and she was so kind, her energy was so nice, and now we became friends because, yeah, and also her art is so cool. And maybe I'm gonna have her as a guest in my podcast, because you know, she's her energy is also very nice, very different, very unique. And you know, I love these people, and I love just socializing, and I love people who are like, you know, who are taking the chance and who go and who just talk, you know. And you just have to really be confident and just do it, you know, not think about it, but just do it. Because the more you think about something, the more your ego will tell you, maybe I shouldn't do it, you know. But no, that's because if you're aligned with your ego, you will miss out so many chances, so many opportunities, and this is something that we don't want. So that's why in self-development, it's very important to not listen to your ego, but to be aligned with your higher consciousness, especially with your intuition, with your higher self, because you have to trust your higher self, because your higher self already knows the real way, you know. And you just have to following that voice, not your ego, you know, because your ego is always negative, will always talk in a negative way to you. It's always bad. So that's why ignore the ego and be aligned with your higher consciousness. Okay, so in today's episode, we're gonna talk about love and hate relationships. Because I noticed that in recent time, I was having some problems with my parents, myself, some people, because, you know, I'm in that transformation, and I'm like, you know, I'm transforming super crazy and super fast, and so many things are happening right now in this chapter of my life, which I'm very grateful for, because, you know, but also it's very uncomfortable, but sometimes you have to grow, and not just sometimes, always you have to grow and get out of your comfort zone. So in order you can change and you can improve yourself, which is our mission, especially in this podcast, you know. And so I was thinking that maybe I should talk talk about love and hate relationships because I'm sure that I'm not the only one here having love and hate relationships around her, because I'm sure that you also have love-hate relationships. Okay, so first things first, what is a love-hate relationship? A love-hate relationship is characterized by a mix of intense positive and negative feelings towards the same person, object, or concept. And I noticed that sometimes I have not sometimes, but always, I have a love and hate relationship towards eating, towards my body, towards myself, and towards my parents, towards social media even, because I love doing social media, but for me, it's also very, very difficult to be consistent, even though now it's way easier because, I already tried doing social media or, blowing up on social media for 3 times, and it's my 3rd time now, and now I'm already a veteran. So that's why for me it's easier because now I'm like more organized and I know what to do on social media. And that's why, but sometimes, because it's so time consuming and I'm like, I don't really want to do it. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable to show yourself on social media because everyone sees you on social media, like on your videos. And you know what? Some grandma just shared a video of me and online and sent it to my mom, and my mom showed me. My mom knows what I'm doing, but it was also very uncomfortable because that grandma, she just saw me on social media and she was like, oh my god, this is Rookie, and which is sometimes okay, it's nice sometimes to be recognized, because I'm becoming a superstar. No, I am already a superstar. But still, sometimes it's the people I don't really like, and when they see it, because they don't really support, they don't really think in a positive way. They are very negative people, so that's why I don't really want to have them in my life, and I don't really want them to see me and to see what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. But that's the bad side of social media. And another dark side of social media is that, especially on TikTok, I noticed that some older men, they're like following me and they're commenting under my videos something like, oh, beautiful girl, cute, pretty, and thank you, but I know already that I'm cute and pretty and beautiful. But I don't really need like older man to watch my videos. If you're a woman or if you're a girl listening to this right now, you probably know, especially outside, like recently I got asked out on a date, like from a guy. He was older man, he was 50, and but then another friend, he's my friend, another friend who's also 50, he said, Rookie, you know what, all of my friends go out with a girl who is 20 years at least younger than them. So, and which is very, very, I'm not surprised, but it's also very uncomfortable because man, you're 50, you could be my grandpa. What the heck, this is crazy. But that's the reality, that's the truth of life, like that's the other side. So anyways, love-hate relationships can manifest as a fluctuating emotional state where feelings of love and affection are intertwined with those of dislike, frustration, or even anger. This dynamic can create a roller coaster of emotions and is often a source of confusion and emotional turmoil of those involved. So you probably know the feeling of having this like chaotic feeling sometimes because you're like mad at yourself because you think, why am I mad? Or why am I angry right now? Because I love this person, but then this person is making you mad or like making you angry because of some stupid thing. But then at the end, you're like asking yourself, you're like questioning yourself, your own feelings and your own thoughts because you can't really understand what's wrong with you. And sometimes I feel like I'm, especially with food, sometimes I really can't eat something properly because then I have this feeling of getting fat instead, but it doesn't make any sense because I'm not fat and I'm not gonna be fat, but I don't know why I have these thoughts, I have these patterns in my head, and I think I have to, but I have to work on this for 100%, and you also have to work on yourself, especially on your love and hate relationships, because you have to have healthy relationships to be healthy you're by yourself, in first place. And that's why sometimes I don't really eat something, because sometimes I think I want to be a model, but then I think I can, and then on the other side I feel like I can eat whatever I want without getting fat, because it's true, like I eat so much. I can eat the whole world, but then I'm not getting fat. And then some weeks, sometimes I eat just one little thing and I already have a stomach, like bloated stomach, belly, and which is very, very weird, but also like natural, because I'm a woman, and now I understand the cycle and the meaning of being a woman, because we women, we have that different cycles, that different weeks and different phases, and that's all up to these different phases, which is very normal. And I'm trying to handle that, and I'm trying to understand this, and learning how to handle that situation and handling myself, because I really don't know sometimes what's wrong with myself, and I don't really understand myself. And then I'm like, okay, sometimes I go this way, sometimes I go that way, and yeah, I can be moody, but you know what? I'm trusting more and more my intuition, because I'm always listening. What do I really want? What does my body tell me? Or what is my mind telling me? What is the ego telling me? So I'm like trying to observe everything, and more like listening to my intuition and to my higher self, because the intuition is your higher self. Okay, there are key characteristics about love and hate relationships. First, conflicting emotions. The core feature is the simultaneous or alternating presence of love and hate, or strong positive and negative emotions at the same time. Intense feelings. These relationships are often marked by highs and low lows, higher high, lower low, just like trading, with strong emotional reactions. Ambivalence I have often, very often. People in these relationships may experience ambivalence, a state of having conflicting feelings or attitudes towards the same object or person. Potential for conflict. The conflicting emotions can lead to arguments, resentment, and difficulty communicating needs and frustrations, potentially damaging the relationship. Can be with people or things. Love-hate relationships can occur in romantic partnerships, family relationships, friendships, or even with concepts just like having a relationship to food, or to social media, to the phone, because I also have a love-hate relationship towards my phone, with my phone, because sometimes I love my phone, and of course I'm super grateful, because you have to be also grateful for your materials, like for the materialistic things, whatever you have, whatever you own, because it also have its own energy. But sometimes I'm so mad because it's so time consuming, because when you're on social media or on your phone, then you just scroll and scroll and scroll for like 2 hours or 3 hours straight, and that's also very unhealthy. So sometimes it's also like this kind of unhealthy relationship with my phone, but sometimes it's also healthy, because sometimes I'm just throwing my phone away, and then I'm not even looking and checking my mails or my messages, because I don't care. And then it's of course healthy for me, because it's not time consuming, because then I have more time for myself and for other things, because your phone is not your life, and I don't really want to be the slave of my phone, but the phone is just for a tool. It's a device for messaging or to talk to people, but sometimes your phone becomes your boss. You're just on your phone and you just scroll for hours and hours, and but it's so stupid actually. Okay, so a few examples are, as I said, romantic relationships, friendships, people or objects, or concepts. Sometimes I have a love and hate relationship even with my university. I love my university, but sometimes, especially in exam season, I hate my university, and I know that I'm not the only one thinking that way. Okay, so how to fix love and hate relationships? From my side, my advice is that the only thing that you can really do is to surrender and to observe yourself. because you just have to understand yourself, because know thyself. You have to learn how to observe yourself and who you really are. And that's working with observing yourself and with listening to yourself, especially to your gut feeling, to your intuition, and to be aligned with your higher self. And to surrender, because most of the time you're aligned with your ego, and when you surrender and when you start listening to what your ego is telling you, you will be surprised and you will be amazed, because then you will start to have the control over your own thoughts and over your own feelings, and then you will understand more, because sometimes you can act differently, you can react differently to some situations, to some people, because sometimes it can be very annoying, some person or some situation, and you just have to learn how to handle that situation by observing yourself, because as I said, sometimes you're just surprised by your own reactions, because sometimes we say things or we do things that we didn't mean it that way, and then at the end we regret it, but that was not us, but that was our ego, because our ego is always the defender, because our ego always wants to defend itself, and because you're always aligned with your ego most of the time. Or you're conscious, because when you're conscious, then you will just be silent and you will observe and you will be like, what am I supposed to do in this situation right now? And when you're at this point, congratulations, because that means that you're at some point of consciousness. Okay, to address a love-hate relationship, prioritize open communication, understand emotional triggers, which is very important. And I'm like trying to understand myself by analyzing my triggers, because then I'm asking myself, why is this triggering me right now? Sometimes my dad is triggering me and I'm getting absolutely mad, and I'm so annoyed, and I'm like, why is this happening? Why am I so annoyed by my dad right now? Just asking myself and analyzing, and I don't really know the answer, but then, I'm asking my mentor and he says, Rookie, you know the answer. Just be calm for a few days and then you will know. And you always know. And the funny thing is that you always know. You have all the answers to all of the questions in your head. But sometimes we are not really clear-minded, and we can't really think clearly. So that's why we have to calm down first, surrender, especially surrendering, and observing, just letting time flow and go and pass, and then you will know the answer automatically. It's crucial to acknowledge the relationship's dynamics, set healthy boundaries, and work on building empathy and respect for each other's differences. Remember to focus on forgiveness and manage your own emotions, potentially with the help of therapy. According to Calm, practicing mindfulness can also be helpful in navigating such complex relationships. Also, meditation helps, going outside for a walk to calm down and to understand what's wrong with you, because you always have to look for the problem inside of you, not in other people, because other people are just mirroring you. Remember this. Elaboration. Communicate openly, understand emotional triggers, set boundaries, seek professional help if you really need it, and build empathy and respect with each other or with the relationship or with whatever you're struggling. Practice forgiveness, which is very important, but I will come to this later, and manage your emotions, because emotions are energies in motions and you are able to control it. And when you can control your emotions, when you can manage your own emotions, your feelings, you can control everything. And so another important thing is to forgive people, but not to forgive people and to forgive other things, but to forgive yourself, which is the most important thing and the first step in healing yourself. Because what I noticed? I noticed that for me it was still very difficult to forgive myself, because sometimes I was so mad at myself and I couldn't really understand. But then I noticed that the first step in forgiving others is to forgive yourself, because then you will be more calm and you will be more loving, more with gratitude. Your energy will shift and you will start to see the difference. You will start to have this love and energy. You'll radiate it, and that's the key. So forgive yourself first, and then you can forgive others and other things in your life. Also, what I want to say at the end is that always be with love and gratitude. Think in terms of loving gratitude always. And always stay calm and surrender and say, loving gratitude. I am aligned with loving gratitude. I am love and I will give love and I radiate love, and I am grateful to be me, and I am grateful that I am in this situation right now, and always think, what is this situation teaching me? Or what is this love and hate relationship teaching me right now? And always be in that state of gratitude, because that will also shift your energy, and you will be on another level, You will have this higher consciousness, and it will be able for you to think clearly and more with calmness, and that will help you. So I hope you enjoyed my episode today. I hope you could reflect on some things. I hope that it helped you in some way. I don't know, maybe you're also struggling with love and hate relationships right now. So, that is the way. Love, gratitude, positivity, and surrendering and being aligned with your higher consciousness, and the rest will come. And so I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Take care of yourself. It was nice to talk to you today. And I hope that you will have a wonderful weekend, and always stay with love and gratitude.